Alright guys, so today we'll be making the most amazing pizza dough for the most amazing homemade pizza you'll ever have. This recipe does require a bit of your time, 3 days to be precise. So if you one day you decide to have pizza, you need to plan ahead and use this recipe to make the most amazing homemade pizza. So for this recipe, I'll be using my mixer, but you can always knead it by hand and the instructions will be below. And for this recipe, I really encourage you to invest in a good, precise kitchen scale because a true baker really weighs out the ingredients because that's much more accurate than using measuring cups. So for the ingredients, I have weighed out 453 grams of bread flour. You want something that's high in gluten and high protein flour, which is gonna help develop a really nice crust. Here I have 4.5 grams of active dry yeast, 9 grams of salt, and here I have 70 grams of lukewarm water. So you want it to be about 80 to 85 Fahrenheit. Right down here I have some ice cold water. That's 225 grams, and you want the temperature of this to be between 38 to 40 Fahrenheit. So to begin, we're gonna put our yeast into our water and quickly whisk it up until it's all dissolved. This one is a really good time to check if your yeast is still alive and if it's gonna work. If after whisking you still see some particles of yeast floating on the water, that means your yeast is no good and you need to get some new yeast. So this is what it should look like after it's all mixed together. When you whisk, you want to whisk it for 30 seconds and you want to be very vigorous with it and use a whisk. So as you can see, I poured the flour in my mixer bowl, and now we want to add most of our ice cold water and reserving about 2 tablespoons of it. The water is in. Now you want to have the dough hook attached. I'm going to lock this in. You want to stir it at the lowest speed. Now we're going to add most of our yeast mixture. And the remaining 2 tablespoons of cold water in our bowl. We're going to put this into our bowl of yeast. We're going to stir this around to get all that nice yeast. We're going to add this back into our mixer bowl. So we want to mix this dough for about a minute. So it's been about a minute now, so I'm going to pull this dough apart. Put it back in. So at this point, you want to take a spatula and scrape out any dough that you may see on the side or any flour that's not incorporated. And if you see any pieces of flour at the bottom that's not mixed, just press the dough onto that to get it stuck, and then when you mix again, it's gonna be thoroughly mixed. So if you do see some unincorporated flour, you can add some more water, and you want to go half a teaspoon at a time. Don't add too much water at once until that flour is incorporated. Now I'm going to add my salt. Now we're going to start mixing again at the lowest speed for 1 more minute. It's been another minute, so I'm going to stop this again. You want to pull this dough out from the hook once more time. Now I also measured out 5 grams of olive oil, so I'm going to add this in right now. So I'm going to lock this back in and we'll stir again for about 2 minutes, and you want to scrape out the dough from the hook one more time at about the 1 minute mark. What we're waiting for happen is for the oil to be properly absorbed by the dough. So it's been about 2 minutes now, and I did scrape out the dough from the hook 1 or 2 times while it was mixing. Now what you want to do is transfer the dough onto a smooth work surface. So if you have a granite or a marble countertop, transfer it onto that right now. I have my dough here right now, and right now it feels really soft and it's not sticky at all. And a good indicator that your dough is how you want it to be and it's not sticky is when you pull it off your dough hook, it should come off clean. There shouldn't be anything stuck onto the hook itself. Now we're gonna knead it for about 2 to 3 minutes. So to knead it, you wanna make it into a ball, push it away, then roll it back towards you, and then turn it about 45 degrees and do the same thing for about 2 to 3 minutes or until it is smooth. So my dough is now ready. So now you want to get a clean piece of kitchen towel and cover the dough and leave it at room temperature for about an hour. So here's what my dough looks like after about an hour of rising at room temperature. Now we want to transfer this into a large bowl using a dough cutter. So now we want to cover this up with a plastic wrap, and we want to refrigerate this for 24 hours. So before you wrap it up, you want to put some drops of water onto your dough, and now we're going to wrap this up. Right, so it's been 24 hours and here's our dough. So now what we want to do is degas the dough and then portion it out. This dough recipe will make 2 pizzas, and they'll be about medium sized. So we're gonna degas the dough. I'm gonna use my mixer for that. You can always punch out the dough and degas it, and then we're gonna portion out the dough. If you're using a KitchenAid mixer, start it on the lowest speed and mix it for about 30 seconds. You're gonna hear little pops as the machine degases the dough. So now I'm gonna take my dough out and put it on an unfloured surface. So now I have set up my dough here on an unfloured work surface and a kitchen scale. I'm gonna use my dough cutter and I'm gonna portion this out into 2 13-ounce pieces. So you want it to be 13 ounces or about 370 grams. So now I have my doughs portioned out here, 2 13-ounce pieces, and now is one of the most important steps. You want to kind of ball up the dough, and you're going to use a specific technique where you're going to turn it inside out, pinch, do the same thing on the other side. You want to continue doing this and pinching until you have a really nice smooth surface on the top. Pinching at the end, this is what helps like trap gas into your dough, which really helps create a nice gluten structure. So when you cook your pizza, it helps create a really nice crust. So here is what our dough ball looks like. See, it has a really smooth surface. Now I've transferred these on the side that you pinch the dough. That side is at the bottom, so you want that side to be down. And now we're gonna cover this up with saran wrap and keep it in the fridge for 24 more hours. So guys, it's day 3 now. It's been 72 hours and I've taken my dough out. So you want to take your dough out an hour before you're going to make your pizza, because you want your dough to come up to room temperature and you want enough time for your oven to heat up. Here's what the dough looks like right now. As you can see, it has spread out, it has risen some more, and because of our tightly packed saran wrap, it has not like puffed up, it's like kind of become wild. That's going to help later to spread out our dough. So we want to leave this at room temperature for 1 hour, and at this point you want to put in, if you have a pizza stone, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 2 actually, and that really helps to create authentic setup like what's used in real pizzerias. That's the closest you can get, I feel, to authentic pizza at home. So the stone will go at the highest temperature you can go at, and you want it to heat for at least 45 minutes to 1 hour. So your dough has been fermenting. It's been in the fridge for 72 hours now, and it should now be ready to turn it into pizzas. So if you want to see how I make my pizzas, you want to go into the link up here and you'll be able to see how I make my pizzas. For new exciting recipes, please subscribe to my channel so you can get notifications, and leave a comment down below and leave me a like. See you again next time.